thumb ledge, thumb rest, gas pedal. These are some of the terms that people use for essentially the same product, which is a ledge for the thumb of your support hand to rest on in order to give you better leverage to combat recoil or muzzle rise. While these products did get their start in the competition world, they aren't necessarily just for competition shooting, whether it is competition shooting, some sort of range gun, home defense, or self-defense. Pretty much anybody can benefit from using some sort of gas pedal type device. I'm Mike, this is 360 Tactical Solutions, and today we're going to do a little bit of a versus. It is going to be the GoGun USA Gas Pedal versus the BlackSteel grip control. But before we get started, let's go ahead and hammer down on that algorithm. Make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Drop down in the comments and let me know, what are your thoughts on gas pedals? One more thing before we get started, make sure to hit that link down in the description to my website where I have promo codes to all kinds of companies and products that I know you're going to want to save money at, including this guy right here, the BlackSteel grip control. So I've got the GoGun USA gas pedal over here on my fully apexed out Hellcat Pro build, and then over here the BlackSteel grip control on my newest, this is the Hellcat Pro comp slide. In order to keep this comparison fair, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this slide on both of these frames just to get a good feel for what the recoil control is with both of them. I've been using this on my Hellcat Pros for maybe a year now, and I've been really happy with it. Mostly, I know that it's been really popular with a lot of the people out there that watch my content. I have had positive and negative feedback from you guys from it, so let's go ahead and go over that real quick. GoGun's design is pretty simple. You remove the takedown lever, you replace it with their gas pedal. Their theory is that you aren't supposed to necessarily push down with your thumb on this device. They have this whole type of grip that they want you to use where you actually push inward towards the slide with your thumb and then squeeze in with these three fingers, and that's how you're supposed to use this thing. Now, I've talked to the people at GoGun about the texture on this gas pedal. I would prefer that it be a little bit more aggressive. Now, what they've told me is that it doesn't need to be more aggressive. I'm just using it wrong. The thing is, though, when it's hot out, if your hands get sweaty or whatever, it is kind of hard to keep your thumb on there. So multiple times I have added a piece of grip tape to that just to give me a little bit more of a grip. Unfortunately, that doesn't last very long. It's usually, I don't know, a month or two before it starts peeling away and I've got to replace it. Now, I have practiced and practiced and practiced their, I think they call it the opposable grip, and I guess it works okay, but I personally have better luck with a standard thumb ledge type operation where you press downward with your thumb to combat the recoil, and you can do that with GoGun's gas pedal. But because it is only a slight ledge there, you don't get the most leverage out of it. I am happy with the way that it operates, but I think that it could be better. Again, the grip texture on that is super smooth, and when I'm out here shooting on a hot day and I get just a little bit of moisture to my hands, my thumb does seem to want to move around on that quite a bit. Now, you can, of course, press inward towards the slide on this thing, but you can also press down on it depending on which works best for you. One of the drawbacks with this unit is that when you have an optic on there and it is in the up position, the gas pedal tends to hit your optic when you try to take your slide off for cleaning and maintenance. That's another thing I contacted GoGun about, and they said that, you know, essentially it is what it is. They've removed as much material as they feel comfortable removing from the back side or slide side of this unit, and just basically you got to deal with it. Now, one of the problems with GoGun's gas pedal is that when you want to disassemble it, we'll just bring it in for a close shot here. When you want to disassemble it, because of how high that gas pedal sits, it tends to ride onto the optic, and it can be a little bit of a pain to disassemble for cleaning. You can see here when it moves forward, it catches on it, and you really have to kind of work it back and forth in order to get your slide off of there. When we look at the BlackSteel grip control, because of the angle, size, and shape, you can see that I've got plenty of clearance to be able to take my slide off without any issues breaking it down for cleaning and maintenance. I've also recently heard from several people that they've had issues where the shaft portion of that gas pedal has actually broken off. The other downside to the gas pedal is that it is almost always out of stock. It's nearly impossible to get a hold of these things. I know this seems like a lot of negatives, but my experience with the GoGun USA gas pedal has mostly been positive throughout the time that I've used it. I have recommended it to a lot of people, and a lot of the people who have went ahead and bought it on my recommendation are more than happy with it. One thing to note is that it is going to be a pain to use a holster with this gas pedal. Now, what I'm using is the McKinatec Talon holster. This one, if you go over to McKinatec, there's a drop down in there for rail adapters. When you order a holster from them, you go down to the rail adapter section, drop down menu, and then it's, I believe, Tactical Development Pro Ledge is the option that I chose, which leaves kind of a gap in here so that if you're using something like the gas pedal, it goes right in. There's no issues there whatsoever. Now, you can modify your current holster by hitting it with a little bit of heat and working it slowly in and out, pressing from the inside out to kind of make a channel for that gas pedal. A little bit goes a long ways. Don't overdo it if you're going to do that. When I look at what the gas pedal does for me in terms of performance and mitigation of recoil or overall muzzle rise, I'm happy with the way that it functions. I do feel like maybe you could get a little bit more out of it, obviously, by changing the grip texture and, you know, maybe just a little bit more of a shelf for the thumb to ride on. But it's been my experience this works out really well, you know, with the stock Hellcat Pro or any of my ported versions as well. So I've got two steel targets from TA Targets downrange. One is at, I don't know, roughly 15 yards. The other one is roughly 25 yards. I'm going to go ahead. I've got two of my mags with the mag extensions set up back to the GoGun USA gas pedal. And we're just going to try to rip through these and see what we can do. I also have one paper target down there right behind and to the side of that 15-yard target. So hopefully we stay on the steel. Well, helps if we rack one. Not bad. Not great, but not bad. These reduced C-zone targets are pretty small, and I'm going for basically center mass on those. Okay, let's go ahead and swap over to this BlackSteel grip control and do the same thing. Through the time that I have been doing content with these Hellcat Pros, I have had multiple people either leave comments or send in emails or whatever asking about this guy here, the BlackSteel grip control. I looked it up. I was very apprehensive for a couple of reasons. Number one, it is roughly $40 more than what this one is, the GoGun USA gas pedal. And the other thing is, I have kind of this thing about spring activated products, I worry that I'm going to order it, of course, $40 more than the other one. I'm going to order it and I'm going to use it for a couple of months, and this spring is going to wear out on me at a higher price than what I'm going to pay for the other product. So that was kind of where my mind was when people were suggesting that I look into the BlackSteel grip control. After having so many people ask about this product, I finally decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and order one. I reached out to BlackSteel. They didn't send this to me. They did, however, go ahead and give me a promo code for you guys, which, again, link down in the description of my website for that. This grip control came in. It was a pretty simple and easy installation, very similar to what the GoGun is, with the addition of replacement trigger pin, which has like a little knob on it that locks in the grip control. I don't know, it was probably a 5 or 10 minute installation job for this thing. Now, without jumping forward to the end of the video too much, I'm going to tell you right now that as soon as I installed it and I went ahead and, you know, just did a little bit of handling of it in my office, I could instantly tell that it was a superior product to what GoGun USA is making. First off, like I said, the apprehension about the spring. This spring is really solid. It's not weak at all. It's really strong. I really do feel like that spring is going to last a long time. Now, I don't know what their like warranty is on this spring or this product, but I don't think that there's going to be any issues of that spring wearing out or getting weak anytime soon. The angle of this grip control is a lot more usable than what the angle on the GoGun USA gas pedal is. It's roughly 45 degrees. Don't quote me on that. But when I draw it and I present it, it is exactly where I would want my thumb to be for that type of usage. The platform has relatively good texture, so I don't feel like I'm going to slip off of it when I'm pressing downwards to work against the recoil. All in all, pretty much right away I knew that this was a good product. I think I came out and did some live fire testing with it, I don't know, 2 or 3 days afterwards, and things went really well. Now with BlackSteel's grip control, I ultimately have better thumb placement. It's a much better angle, and it is a more downward pressure type of grip with the thumb. Honestly, that feels a lot better. I'm not shooting very good today, but I mean, we all have good days and bad days, right? So the leverage on this BlackSteel grip control is a lot better. I feel like I have a more secure, dominating grip over my firearm than I do with that GoGun gas pedal. I'm going to load up a couple more mags just to really heat these things up and kind of enjoy myself out here shooting. Something that people worry about when it comes to editions like this is that, you know, it's going to be more bulky. Honestly, that's not a thing. I've used the GoGun gas pedal for like a year or whatever, and I don't find that it really changes much as far as the profile of the gun. And the same can be said for this BlackSteel grip control. The other problem that people have when they think about putting one of these on their gun is, of course, holsters. Now the same holster that I use pretty much every time I leave the house with the Hellcat Pro, it will kind of work with this. It has a little bit of a tough time in and out. As you can see, it's not the greatest fit, but I can see some marks inside of here where it's kind of hanging up. And what I'm going to do is bust out the old heat gun, give it a little bit of warmth, and reshape this inner channel just a little bit to make this a better fit. It's really no big deal, and I'm not worried about it. I can probably do that modification in all of about 15 minutes, and it's going to fit nice and smoothly. Now on the website for BlackSteel, they do have like a little button for, you know, holsters, and in there it does say that there are some directions on how to modify your holster, but they also offer, if you want to send them your holster, for them to go ahead and modify it for you. I'm not sure if there's a cost associated with that. Honestly, I forgot to even ask because I'm going to go ahead and do my own, and I don't necessarily think that heating up your holster and making this product work with it is that hard of a job. I think basically anybody can do it as long as you go slow and you're patient. So I've basically already given away the end of the video. I prefer the BlackSteel grip control over the GoGun USA Gas Pedal, hands down. 10 times out of 10, that's the one that I'm going to choose. I don't care that it costs $40 more than what the GoGun USA Gas Pedal costs. I think for that extra 40 bucks, you're getting more than your money's worth with the BlackSteel offering than you are with GoGun. When I'm live firing both of these products, I feel like I am getting a bump in control with the GoGun gas pedal, and it's, believe me, it's a welcome addition to the Hellcat Pro. But then stepping over to the BlackSteel grip control, it is a night and day difference in the feel of the muzzle rise and just recoil in general with this versus the GoGun USA gas pedal. Also, in terms of quality of build, this grip control is extremely high quality. Honestly, the GoGun USA gas pedal, I'm not going to say that it is cheaply made or low quality, but it's definitely not up to the same level as this guy right here. Not even close. Now, I know there are people out there who are going to say you don't need a thumb ledge on an EDC gun. It's bulky, it's a 9mm, there isn't enough recoil to, you know, you shouldn't have to struggle through. It's always the same comments every single time. And to that, I say this: reduction or mitigation of recoil is always a good thing, no matter what your application is. It doesn't matter if you're shooting competition. It doesn't matter if it's for home defense. It doesn't matter if it's just out at the range having fun. It doesn't matter if it's EDC. It doesn't matter if it's 9mm, 45. I don't care what caliber it is. If you can reduce the amount of muzzle rise while you're shooting, if you can flatten the recoil characteristics of your gun, that is a good thing. For people like myself who have physical conditions, a carpal tunnel, arthritis, whatever the case may be, if you have a strong grip or a weak grip, whatever, being able to easily manage the recoil of your firearm is a good thing. Every little change that I can make to my firearm to be able to better handle it, better manage it, and get better, tighter groups, I'm going to take it every single time. Now, maybe that's adding a magwell to get a better grip on there. Maybe that's changing the actual grip itself. Maybe that's adding, you know, a grip control. Whatever the case may be, if you can get an advantage, why not take it? For me, the clear choice here is going to be the BlackSteel grip control. And so from here moving forward, these are the gas pedals that I'm going to use on my firearms. I am obviously going to keep this GoGun gas pedal here on this particular lower, just because I already have it. But I'm going to be looking at more of the BlackSteel products for different guns that I have in my collection, because I truly believe that this is an addition that can really take your gun to the next level. That's all I've got for today, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you back here real soon.